Good afternoon to you all. I hope you are well. Good morning to you guys stateside. And you know what? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to wherever you're watching across the globe. It's an absolute pleasure to have your company. We are on Thursday the 1st of April already. And seems today we seem to have gone back a step. It's a bit cold, it's a bit cloudy, but you never know. The sun might come out. However, always shining bright here on Crafters TV, and we've got another jam-packed day lined up. If you enjoy watching me, then you will have the absolute pleasure of having on me all day. If you don't like watching me, if you don't like my style, then I'm sorry. You've got me all day today. So what we've got all day, of course, we've got Wake Up Call, 12 p.m. here in the UK, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. You can see me for an hour every single day, Monday to Friday. Well, we say that it's an hour and a half, and we've mixed up the craft fall in between. But then what we've got later on today, we've got our craft along. So we've got a fun, jam-packed craft along that you can be not only tuning in, joining in, but you can be crafting along as well. So that's going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK, or 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. But then what you can also do, with it being Thursday, it means we've got cartload, we've got jam-packed full, we've got stamps, we've got dies, we've got hunky-dory, we've got so much more. That's then going to be on 7 p.m. here in the UK, but for you guys stateside, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. But it's not just me that's holding the fort today. No, we are back together for the full day. I've had a blast being on with this guy, this major guy, when it comes to holding the fort at Crafters TV, and it's Joe. Hi, Joe.
Oh, I'm so glad. It is Fake Friday, not just for me, Craig, but for the entire nation. Of course, Easter kicks off tomorrow. It's a bank holiday. So yeah, full day of me and Craig. Really looking forward to it. Loads of great shows coming out. As Craig just said there, we have peppered those craft vault deals all through the show. Over 35% off. And it's no joke. Oh no, we know it's April Fools out there. And on that note, what we want you to do over on socials is let us know about the best, the April Fools, maybe the April Fools that really tricked you, and we'll share some of them as we go through the show, which is absolutely awesome. Now, there is loads coming up, as I said today. Lots of you tuning in and saying hello as well, which is fantastic. So Craft Vault is coming your way. Now, what else is happening today is, of course, the Craft Along, which is going to be awesome. And you've got loads of time still to get your bits and bobs together for that. So it will be with Craig, the Hottie Scotty, at 3 p.m. today, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, which is awesome. Loads of incredible Craft Vault deals, as I said, coming up. Lots of you shopping ahead. You can go over and shop the show immediately. And remember, you can watch and shop at the same time on our website. But Craig's got some awesome products that are coming up throughout the day today.
Absolutely, I do, and this is what we're going to be focusing on. That's also going to be the focal point of the craft along, and that is our Crafter's Companion floral border dies. Well, I say floral, they are the panel border dies that you can see here. So what you've got there is you've got 4 sets in total. Now within each set you're actually getting 3 dies. You get the decorative die that cuts out of your card, and then you've got your 2 outside dies as well. So that's your Gemini Decorative Panel Border Die Collection. £38.97 here in the UK. For you guys stateside, $44.85. You're already saving $12.99 here in the UK, $14.95. But what you'll also be able to get is your Club Inspire when you go onto the website. So that collection includes your butterflies in flight, shooting stars, delicate daisies, and modern peony trellis. So if you've got these, then you can craft along with me later on today. If you don't have these, then what you can do is you can get your hands on them now, and then you can always go back and watch the craft along at your own speed. Of course, we won't be live, but you can still absolutely craft along when it comes to the craft along. Now, that is what is it's coming up in that show. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look and focus as to what you can see on Cartload. And this is our Crafter's Companion. This is our acrylic stamp bundle. 22 elements in total with this one here. £21 here in the UK, $25 for you guys stateside. Straight away, look at your saving here in the UK, $33.78. and for you guys stateside, $39.90. Now, I always shout out the prices in pounds and dollars, but if you are across in Europe, you can check out yours in euros. That's crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. But that is one of many things that's coming up in Cartload later on today, and that is also one that we are going to be previewing when it comes to Wake Up Call. We're going to do a little bit of a different technique when it comes to these ones here. You might be able to, if you get them at home, be able to incorporate them with your panel dies. Lots of things that you can do with them. But that's not the only thing that we've got coming up in Cartload. We have also got our mini element dies. These are really, really cute. Now, originally, these were launched with the Gemini Mini / the Gemini Go because they're all going to fit through your Gemini Mini or Go. But of course, they're going to go through any of your die cutting machines. They're nice little accessories for your cards and projects, like I'm going to show you just shortly. But that's your Gemini Mini element die collection. So what you've got is 28 elements in total. Now you've got the option to actually build the elements. For instance, you can see you've got the cake, so you can actually build your cake. It's all individual parts. So these are £28 here in the UK, $43 for you guys stateside. You're already getting a saving of 25%. Take off your Club Inspire on top of that one, it's going to bring it down even more. What I want you to do, if you are watching on our website, then of course you can always watch and shop at the exact same time. I'm going to urge you to have a look at not only what's coming up in Craft Along, but also what's coming up in Cartload, because there's many different things that are, we've not got a great deal in numbers of quantities. We've got Tiffany, we've got Stamen Dies, we've got Hunky Dory. Specifically look at Hunky Dory because I've not prepped any bits yet because I am scared that by the time I get there, it's going to go. So check out them while you can. Of course, you can always pop them into your basket. Main thing is check it out and you know that they are yours. What you might also want to do is have a look at some of the elements that are up to 35% off in the Craft Vault. But the man himself, he's going to tell you more about that. Caught him out there. He was just about to walk away. Joe, it's over to you.
I was just drawn, Craig, to my coffee. That's obviously what it was. So it was behind one of those pack shots over there. Yes, loads of great deals in the Craft Vault for you. And remember, you can still get your Club Inspire points on these as well. We're going to look first at the pop-up birthday box. So what you're getting in here is you are getting the pop-up box die, which is awesome. This is the worker die, which is going to create this awesome box shape for you. We're also giving you included here as well the happy birthday dies. These are great because you've got all your numbers in here. You've got cake. Apparently someone said to me the other day, Craig, a party without cake is just a meeting. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? You're absolutely right. You've got cake in there. The other great thing as well, because of the size of these, they are awesome for all of your other smaller dies. So think about your staycation dies. Think about your milk box carton dies that you've got. Your twirling dies. They will all work within there, which is absolutely brilliant. That die on its own, the main worker element, should be $24.99 or $39.95. So in essence, you're getting £15 or $20 worth of additional dies totally free of charge, which is excellent. Craig, I know when we launched these, they were so incredibly popular. I think they're one of those creations. Once you've made them and you give them to someone, they're just going to want you to make more. You're going to be giving them to absolutely everyone.
Absolutely, you really are. Because they're so much fun to actually create, then you can start to bring other elements like you've said. But you know what? Let's set all that to the side at the moment. So let's see who is on. So we have got Rachel, who is our social media guru. She is having a look at all your comments today. So we have got loads and loads you already popping in. We've got Sarah's Creation saying good morning, Craig, and all you crafty peeps from a chilly Ohio.
Ohio!
I know, it's a bit chilly here as well today, not like yesterday. We've then got Patty Redmond saying hello everyone from a snowy, rainy Michigan. I believe we are the 1st of April. I believe we are meant to get some snow here as well at the weekend. Yeah. No,
that's not an April Fool's
no,
either.
That's not an April Fool's. Nope, not an April Fool's. Suzette is saying, let's go back there, your comments are just loading up there. Suzette saying, good morning Craig, crafty friend, so good to be here, new month, and from a rainy PA. You seem to have a lot of rain everywhere, don't you? Really, really do. It's not like that here. A couple more. We've got Georgia and Curly. Good morning, Craig. And CC Peeps from Clearwater, Florida. We have got George Square today. Good morning, George. No, it doesn't work. You have to press the button.
No, it didn't come out. George is like the Little Mermaid. He's lost his voice. He sold it to Ursula.
So he's saying good morning to you. No, still not working. Both of them are saying good morning, good afternoon to you both. So you just need to trust. They are both saying it back to you. So many of you back to you. We've got Shelley, we've got Dragon Mum, we've got Marie, we've got Beth, we've got Katrina. Lots of you already popping in. So not only will I be having a look at the comments and reading them through, so will Joe as well. But with it being 1st of April, it is, technically, certainly here in the UK, we're 10 past 12 midday. So we're kind of after what would have been April Fool's Day, ending at midday. But did you have any April Fool things that you maybe fell for? Maybe any fun crafty ones? Maybe, I don't know. Someone said they bought you a big bundle of crafty goodies and it was a joke, or anything fun that had happened to you when it comes to April Fools. Do let us know. It's going to be fun. You can see you've got the details right along the bottom, getting social, whether it is Facebook or of course YouTube, and we will be having a look at the comments as well. We're in the mood for a good laugh. It's Joe's Fake Friday today, and I've got one more day to go after today, so let's see what you are all saying. While you're doing that, I'm going to get started. Let's have a look at this pop-up box now. You do have all these elements that Joe was showing you a moment ago, but what we're going to do with this one, what's so good about this is you can actually make the pop-up box as tall as you want. So what I'm going to do is, this is the main worker part that we can see here. Now what I'm going to do is, I have popped over into my large Gemini. Now you will, for most of these sizes, you will need your large Gemini or a large die cutting machine. You can use your Gemini Junior. However, what you will have to do is make a very shallow pop-up box, and I'll explain that in a moment. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this worker die. I've taken my A4 cardstock and I'm going to pop it as close up to the top that we can see here. Then we can bring in our low tack tape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure that briefly. Now I'm doing it to white cardstock because that's what I've got here. I've got a bit of Centura Pearl that I can also use. However, this could be any of your cardstock that you've got at home. This could be your pattern cardstock. It is a concept, it's a worker, it's the pop-up box. I would use a real heavy cardstock, round about your 280, 300 GSM. But we can then bring this one out. You need two to actually create the worker. So what we can do is we can bring this one in.
Penguin said maybe George has fallen asleep, Craig.
Maybe. No, he was definitely awake today. Definitely. Today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the other one exactly the same. They were dramatically and drastically trying to push that button. You could hear that they were going, hello, hello, hello. Definitely giving it a good go. Just computer says
like
no.
me in my apartment trying to work out how the intercom works anytime anyone buzzes my apartment, Craig. I'm just standing there, more and more panicked that the delivery man's about to go, trying to just press all the buttons. I've never made it work in 6 months.
Have you not?
Just run downstairs really quickly now.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose then, doesn't it? Defeats the purpose of them. Oh, yeah.
One day, when I'm a real adult grown up, I'll have worked it out, Craig.
That'll never happen.
Never happen. No.
Never going to happen. Let me know that in your comments as well. Do you think Joe will ever grow up, or is he going to be like Peter Pan?
The Peter Pan of craft.
You've got that kind of Peter Pan colour in your jumper today.
I have, haven't I?
Yeah.
But are we thinking like Panto Peter Pan or Disney Peter Pan?
Oh, definitely Disney.
Okay.
Definitely Disney, yeah. I would say so anyway. It's got to be Disney. Here we go. Right, what we're going to do now, we've got our two bits here. So what we can then do, you'll be able to see we've got all these score lines in the middle here. So you can see them there. Now what we're also going to do is we've got the end of the cardstock that simply ends at each side here. So we're going to bring in our large guillotine. So what I am going to do for speed, I'm going to simply just chop those end bits off. and then we're going to continue that cutting edge all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it into my guillotine, and I'm going to match up the edge of that card against the edge of my card stock, and we're going to cut so we've got a flush edge all the way down. Now we're going to do the same on this one here. This is the beginning of the tab, so we're going to pop that up to the edge of the tab here, and then we're going to cut, and that gives us our nice flush edge here. Let's do that once more on this one, and then we'll also bring in our score line. So I'm going to line that one up into place here. So Joe was saying earlier on, not only can you be using what you can see in the set, you may have things such as your penny slider or your staycation, twirling characters. All of these you can now start to incorporate with these ones. Maybe, what about, Joe, bringing in little photos of family members or that, and then you can start to pop little pictures of them in. That would be a good way to get them really fun and creative. But what we can do now is if we go back to this one, so we're going to continue down the score line. So this score line here, we're going to continue all the way down, and same with this tab here. So let's line it up. So if I line it up to the edge, and I'm going to pick one of these score lines, so I'm going to see which one that I'm on, which is here. So let's score all the way down. I'm going to turn it around just to make it easier, and I'm going to do the same on this tab here. So score, and then let's do it once more on this one here. So actually let's do it on that one. So we're going to continue that score line down, and then we're also going to continue that score line down. So if I move this out the way, what will happen is if we fold all these parts over, so let's fold these, it actually starts to represent a little box. So this is where your pop-out box starts to come to life. So I'm going to fold front one over, side one over, and then this other side one. Before I stick them, I want you to see how this is where the pop-up element starts to come into place, the pop-up box. This is where you can determine how tall that you want it. So what I'm going to do is you can then, maybe you want to bring an inch off, 2 inch off. It's entirely up to yourself. Tell you what, let's just go for a real tall one. So what I can do is let's pop our tape into the middle here. If you happen to have any pictures of any pop-up boxes you've done, do email them in to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. So if you pop them into the email, send them across, and you never know, we might pop them onto the screen for everyone to see. Be nice to see,
wouldn't it?
Be good, wouldn't it?
I'd like to see some of those. A lot of people saying, Jean says, Joe, I will always be Peter Pan, apparently. Denise says, just stay as you are. I wish I could. Craig, I wish we could just turn off the ageing process. Even maybe just dial it back a few years even,
Just a few.
Just a couple.
Would be good. Although, to be fair, if you think about it, we kind of have last year and this year, with everything that's gone on, we've not really been celebrating our birthdays, have we?
No.
So
some people have had 2 lockdown birthdays now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
So maybe they just don't count.
Maybe not.
I think so.
I think a lot of people are saying that they've not been celebrating their birthday, and I would agree.
Yeah.
I would say so anyway. Yeah. So some people will have knocked a year off our age. Some of us, as you say, Joe, have celebrated 2 birthdays.
Maybe it could have like a double effect. You could actually count back a year for every year that you celebrated a lockdown birthday.
There's that option.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a really good idea, actually. Yeah, think of it. Let us know as well. So we've got lots of things we want to know today. Let us know that as well. Have you maybe just stayed the age that you are? Have you classed yourself as going back a year, maybe 2 years? Let us know that one. Maybe I could be part of an April Fool's in the past.
We've got some good April Fools coming in, Craig. We'll share those with you shortly.
Awesome. Have a look at them in a minute.
There's a really juicy one that I like the look of, so we'll share those with you in a bit.
Absolutely, we will do. We'll have a look at them as well shortly. But what we will do is let's take this last couple. So we've got this little tab here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut that 3 times. So let's bring in our third one. Let's run this one through. Now this is what's going to be the mechanism part within the middle. So I'm going to set these ones to the side. If I bring these all in. Now these ones have also got little score lines on each edge. So we're going to score them over. Now for time and speed, let's use our tape runner. And we are going to pop our adhesive on. We do have the, if you check out on the show, we do have our kind of like essential bundle, our Crafter's Companion. It's actually a decorative panel tool collection, but it's actually one that's going to work well for all your different crafts because it's got your tape runner in it. So you'll be able to see it just shortly. So there you are, right along the bottom there, a Crafter's Companion Decorative Tool, Panel Tool Collection. So within that one there, you're going to be getting your pokey tool, you're also going to be getting your edge crimper, also going to be getting your blending tool, you're also going to get your foam pads as well to go with that, your extra strong glue gel, fine tip applicator, and also your all-purpose glue. So that's a nice one to stock up on too. Now what I've done here is those little score lines that we can just see the highlight where my finger is. A couple of score lines there. So this is where I'm matching up these little panels. So these can go into place here. So I'm going to bring this in my way so it's easier for me to see. Let's bring in this last one, folding them over with the adhesive, falling down the bottom. Bringing this one in, so we're just going to hold it in. This is the part that I would also do in wet glue, tacky glue, to make it strong and robust. So what we can then do now is if I then bring that one, so you can see from up above, we've got our 3 straps in the middle. So if I bring it forward for you to see, this is where all your little worker parts are going to sit into the middle. You can decorate the front whichever way that you like. And then just to give you one idea as to what you can do once it's decorated, you'll be able to see, use some acetate strands within the middle there, any of your stamped images, maybe your pattern cardstock papers into the middle to really fulfill it. And it's really nice, but of course it folds flat as well. And you can determine how deep you want it to be when it comes to the size.
Awesome, I think they're excellent, Craig. And remember what you're doing is you're getting the decorating dies, the happy birthday set, totally free of charge in that configuration. So don't miss out on that. $24.99 or $39.95 as platinum member pricing. That becomes $19.99 or $31.96, which is a really juicy deal. Now, talking of juicy deals, it's time to have a look at the Get It, Got It, Good. Oh yeah, this week's Get It, Got It Good is from Totally Tiffany. It's an incredible buddy bag collection for you. You have got 4 awesome bags in here which are great for storing a whole host of different crafting mediums, from rulers and paintbrushes to gem drops and mini ink pads. You've even got the Stephanie bag in here which has got those larger compartments in for you. You pay for 3 and you receive 4 as part of our Get It, Got It Good. If you have the lowest tote too, these will all store beautifully in there for you as well. Don't miss it. Remember, we bring you a brand new Get It, Got It, Got It, Good. I finally got it. Every single Monday, so there'll be another exciting one happening on Monday for you. Apparently there's a t-shirt, Craig, which Debbie has talked about. It's at Disney, there is a shirt. It says, I may get older, but I will never grow up. She says that's me, apparently.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think we need to try and get that one for you.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. It'd be
growing up is definitely a trap. Now, fantastic craft along coming up a little later, Craig, I hear.
There is indeed, yeah. There is indeed, yeah. And also, just to reiterate what Joe said, a lot of people saying, yeah, just stay the same.
Don't grow up. It's a trap.
Yes.
Have you found those awesome April Fool's stories in there, Craig?
In there.
You might just have to go up a little bit. There's a couple.
Let's see. Right, okay, here we are. Right, let's have a look. So, are you looking at, is it...
Brenda and Lena.
Lena, yeah. What was the other one?
Brenda, above her.
So just above. So we've got Brenda on YouTube. You were saying, as a young child, I believe spaghetti grew on trees. You boys won't remember that spoof film on TV.
Yeah, I do know that. Apparently, Craig, there was a spoof film which aired on TV in the 70s, I believe, when pasta had just become a thing in the UK. And it was basically a programme that pasta grew on trees and everyone totally bought it. But it also gave name to a book, Craig, about Italian cuisine in Australia. And I've actually read the book that is called Pasta Grows on Trees. Very interesting read. But yeah, for a long time, the whole of the UK population thought that pasta grew on trees.
All right. Oh, yeah, I am. Well, I was about to say I am a bit young for that one, but then Joe is actually just a year or so younger than me. Let's go for this last one for the moment. Lenny, how do you pronounce it?
I think it's Lena. I'm not sure though, Craig. I'm not sure.
A local TV station had an April Fool's story a few years ago that fooled a lot of people. They did a story about how a container with beer had fallen off a ship and broke open, and now all the cans of beer were washed up on the western shoreline of North Denmark, where I live. The amount of men on the beach that day was crazy. The TV station was there also, and as people realised that it was an April Fool, they handed out free beer to them.
Nice.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, isn't it?
I like that one. That's a really good one.
Getting all the common ones today as well on my social media. People saying that they've finally gained their pilot's licence. A few friends that are travelling around Australia posting pictures in airports saying, "Oh, surprise, I'm halfway home." And I'm like, you cheeky little things, you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt today, Craig.
Got to. You've got to. But I think the thing is, when it comes to us as well, I think it's going to be that time drift difference. You guys are still in April Fools. Technically, we're out of it now.
Because is it before midday you have to do April Fools?
Yeah, midday. But do you know what?
Because I was worried, because I hadn't heard anything about it, Craig. I thought that maybe I just wasn't in on any said jokes. But I've done all right so far today. I've not been fooled.
I thought I was the same as well, but no, not being fooled. Right, let's have a look and see what's coming up at Craft Along later on today. So this is our decorative panel border. You can see it on your screens right now. So you've got 4 sets, but within each set you are getting 3 dies. So £38.97 here in the UK, £44.85 for you guys stateside. And we are, when it comes along to Craft Along, we're going to be using the star, the shooting star one. So we are, I'm saying shooting star, it is actually called shooting star. That's what we're going to be using in Craft Along. But then this one here, we're going to be using the Peony trellis. Now what I am doing is I am only using the decorative die. This is the only one that I'm using, and what that does is that cuts into my cardstock. If you used one of the actual outline dies, that's going to either create an edgeable, or we are going to enable to eliminate the full design out of your cardstock so that you're able to then create a separate element. So what I'm going to do is, if I bring this one into place here, we are, do you know what we're going to do? While we're going to do this, I'm going to bring you in on a little bit of the behind the scenes. Joe, can you do me a favour?
Indeed.
Can you come just to the side of me? Can you, the monitor I've got in front of me, Joe, can you pull it towards you, please?
Yeah, don't worry, I'll sort that out for you.
Thank you. He's doing
that way.
He's doing it. Yeah, keep
better?
going. Keep tiny little
Keep
bit
going.
more.
How's that?
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for that one. Rightio. So what we've done is we've then pulled that one in. See, it's behind the scenes, so we need to see Joe. We need to see him while he's doing it. So we can see now, if I bring in one of my tools, so let's pop all these little bits out. Now if I take all these out, if I take all these bits out, so let's take all that out. Now if I then bring in a piece of white card so you can see all the detail coming through. So we can see on this one being the modern peonies. But what we're going to do is, if I take all these bits out here, I'm going to remove all this out the way. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in a piece of a red texture card. And all that I want to do is cut out this larger peony. So I'm going to pop my cardstock over the peony. Then we're going to come in here and I'm going to die cut this bit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to run this one through again. And then we want all of the die cut bits from the peony because we're going to paper piece back in. So it's going to look really quite smart. So let's bring this bit in. So here, what I want to do is I want to be careful because I don't want to knock all the bits out. So I know there's going to be a few of them bits that I'm going to need. So let's move that to the side for now. We're going to bring in our dotty tape runner, which is from the Decorative panel tool collection. And I'm going to run my dotty tape runner over the back. So this is then going to stick down all of the black card. Now I brought in a piece of white, but the white card is actually slightly smaller than the black because I don't really want to see any of the white of the matting layer. All that I want is a white backdrop, but also somewhere for me to then pop all my die cut pieces. So what I can do is just secure all that down. Still lots of comments as well coming in. Lots of you saying how much you love the pop-up box dies that we were showing you beforehand. So I don't know if any pictures have come in yet, but do send pictures in if you've got any.
The spaghetti growing on trees situation, Craig, was actually a panorama programme of all programmes.
Of all programmes.
So I can understand why people bought it. Panorama, for anyone that doesn't know, is kind of a very serious, like investigative journalistic programme in the UK that's on the BBC, and they investigate lots of different sort of dramatic things that happen. So I can see why people bought that one, Craig.
Yeah, I would as well. I would probably fall for it as well. Certainly a programme like that.
Tansy Pan's like your little phone stand as well, Craig.
Do you know something? There's two people that said that recently. I've noticed that. And do you know what? I've had this stand since Wake Up Call started.
Maybe it needs a name. You know, because we have Brenda the spray box. Maybe it's Phyllis the phone stand.
Maybe, yeah, it could very well be. Phyllis the phone stand. It's a stand that we use to hold up products, and I've always used it either to hold up my iPad or to hold up my phone now. So yeah, it's something I've always used, but it's nice because I can see all your comments coming through. So what I'm doing is now I've gone in with my little glue applicator. So this is also in the tool set. And then what I'm also going to do now, so if I pop all these bits, so I'm going to move them out the way, and I'm carefully going to remove that back bit, and then using my pokey tool, which also comes within that tool set, let's poke all these bits out. So I'm popping them all out, and then we can come back in. Now I'm going to pop the end of my pokey tool into my glue, and I'm going to use it as a picker-upper. So not only can you poke things, you can pick things with it as well. So let's maneuver that one in. Let's go into this one. So let's turn that, I think it's that way I need to go. And I love paper piecing, Joe. It's so therapeutic to actually do. Let's do a tiny little bit more. And all that I'm doing is this single peony. So I can pop this one in. Panda
says, could you use the double-sided sticky sheets for this technique, Craig?
You could do. The only thing with that is, can you imagine all these little bits that you're using here? Imagine trying to get the backing off of them.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Would work well for your larger parts, but for your tiny, tiny parts, it would be a little bit tricky for you to get the backing off. It's not impossible. You know, you could do it, but what you're then going to do is...
Guess it just depends how big your parts are then.
Well, that's it, yeah. The thing is as well, if you put it on behind, this is all going to be sticky. Which, you know, if you want to put glitter on is fine. If you want to leave it white,
Craig,
then, you know, popping it on the back's not going to work for this one. But, you know, you do have different options if you're wanting to, for instance, your sprays.
For a quick one then, Craig, what you could maybe do, how about some of the hunky-dory gilding flakes? Just rub them all over through the aperture.
Yep.
If you were making a lot of cards, boom, that's a real quick card, isn't it?
A really, really quick card to do, and a really effective way as well. But what I would then do is I would carry on with this rose bit. And these two bits here, what I would do is in green, because they are the leaf part. So what I'm then going to do is let's bring in the one that I done last night. And these tiny little dots here, these are actually coming away from your ladybug, from your elements, which I'll show you just shortly. So what we can do is I'm also bringing in a piece of our red texture cardstock, which is slightly bigger. So I'm taking my backing off. So if I take these ones off here, so taking all these bits, I'm then going to pop that one straight over the top. then what I done yesterday, Joe, remember how I gave you a sneak peek of a cardstock
You were
coming
so
next week?
sneaky yesterday, yeah.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, of course.
Rightio. So let's then take the backing off here, and then let's turn this one around. Look at this
This is
one.
gorgeous, Craig. When
Very-
might we, shall I get my words out? When will we expect to see this one?
Oh, maybe round about midweek next week. Maybe round about that on a launch day.
That'll be with me then.
It may very well be, Joe.
Will it be with you as well?
It's absolutely with me.
Fantastic.
Very oriental. But there, I'm saying no more. So what we can then do is let's take backings off our foam pads here after lifting this one up. Then I'm going to give you a tease from Cartload later on tonight, nighttime here in the
You
UK.
are just a right tease at the moment, aren't you?
I am indeed, I am. Now, some word dyes from Hunky Dory. Check them out soon because I don't know how much that we've got left. So this is our Celebrate dye. You do get stamps with it, so you can make a little sentiment. So what we can do is pop our tacky glue on the back. I'm going to run that one across here. Let's straighten it up and press. Last but not least, let's take one of our ladybugs. This one is from our Gemini Mini elements. We'll show
What
you
is the
them
difference
shortly.
between a ladybird and a ladybug, Craig?
I think
I've
they're
always
same.
thought. Oh, they're the same thing.
Yeah, it's just that a ladybug is American and a ladybird is what we say here.
Ah, I didn't know that. Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day. There we go. So that's one way in which you can use your Gemini Decorative panel dies. So there we go. So to see lots more ideas as well as to join in when it comes to the craft along, that is our decorative panel border die collection. If you've not got a hold of them yet, then you can do today or even throughout the show. $38.97 here in the UK or $44.85 for you guys stateside. That is then going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Also with myself and Joe.
That is going to be absolutely awesome. Do make sure you join us for that. Should we share with you actually all the things that you're going to need to craft along with Craig a little later? Here you can see all the things that you are going to need. So you've got your Gemini Junior, Ultimate Pro, your decorative border die, Centura Pearl, textured cardstock. You're going to need some ink pads in there as well, which is awesome. Is that all of it? A few additional elements for you that you'll need also. A pattern paper pad, acetate, tacky glue, tape pen, low tack tape, and a pencil. Haven't decided yet, Craig, if I'm going to craft along with you.
Right, well, I'm going to actually answer a question. I've noticed a few people asking as well, is saying, oh, I don't have the Ultimate Pro. That's okay, as long as you've got some kind of scoreboard, or that's a scoreboard that you need, and that's going to actually construct it. So if you don't have the Pro, don't worry, as long as you've got a scoreboard, Scoremaster.
Do you have the project to hand that we're making later, Craig?
I don't have it here with me, no, it's
no
in the
worries.
office.
Oh, Will, it's just teasing us again, you see.
Yep.
He's just he's the king of the teasers today, he really, really is. Terry Lee's got a funny April Fool's story for us, Craig. She says, a few years ago, I woke my daughter to tell her she had school. It was a Saturday. She showered, got dressed, and then I told her April Fool's. She still hasn't forgiven me. I can understand why, can't you?
I can, yeah, I can.
Right, let's move on. Let's share with you some more of our awesome Craft Vault deals that we've got for you. Next up, we've got the pop-up words. Now, these are like the predecessor to the recent pop-up sentiments that we brought to you. What you're going to get in here is with love, thank you, and special friend. And what they do is they basically make the inside of your card as awesome as the outside, because they give you that amazing pop-out sentiment with all of that dimension. Still make the outside of your card equally as awesome, but just create something really exciting for the inside of there as well. They are fairly straightforward to use. Craig will take us through that in a minute. Just to give you an idea of the deal here, one of these should be £9.99 or £12.95. You're getting 3 here. It's a buy one, get 2 free. I said you buy one,
You get 2 free.
Amazing, you do indeed. I left Craig high and dry last week after saying that to him, and he was very disappointed, so I'm glad we've nailed it this week. They are awesome, lots of you shopping ahead for them. It is very, very busy there at the moment. Remember, you can shop this along with all the other craft bulk deals by going to the website crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au and clicking that shop the show button as well. Craig, I believe you've got something you want to share with us on these.
I do. I'm going to run one of these through just to let you see how it can look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of bits of cardstock, not to a specific size. I just want to let you see the concept. So I'm taking a couple of bits of bright cardstock for you to see. So let's go I'm going to go roughly to 10. So what I can then do is moving that out of the way. So what you want to do when it comes to the main pop-up element, you don't want to have a fold within the middle of your card blank, because what will happen is you'll end up seeing that score line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardstock, so I've got it to 10 inches, so I'm going to put a little bit of a pencil line halfway at the 5 inches here. So what we can then do is we can then position this into place. So what I'm doing is I'm then going to pop these little notches that are at each side here. What they're going to do is they're going to line up with my pencil line. So I'm going to sit that into place. I'm going to move it in so it's slightly centered into the middle, and then I can bring in my low tack tape here. And what I'm going to do, let's centralize that again a bit better. All of those inner parts, these are the parts that's going to come out. So I am going to pop my low tack tape there so that if it was to tear, it's not going to matter because we're not going to see these bits. And then we're going to run this one through. And then while that's running through, you could have a look at the comments as well. So let's run it into the Gemini. I've gone back to my junior here. If you want to do it on a bigger form, then absolutely use your large Gemini. We've got Karen Wilder saying, what a beautiful card. You're really excited to see that background cardstock. Excellent. That's one of 6 new packs of different cardstock that's come in. A couple of people saying, Joe, you should craft along. Karen is saying, is Craig's craft along project on his site? I want to see it. Yep, it's on my Facebook. It's on Crafters Companion Facebook. So go across and check that one out as well. And we've also got Emma Wood on YouTube is saying, what's the email address to send photos in? So if you send your photos in to the details coming up along the bottom, so you can see it right there, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, send them into the gallery and George will get a hold of them for you. But here we go, let's go back into this bit here. So now what's happened is it's cut all of the wording that you need, but what you've got is some score lines. So we're going to carefully, and don't rush this bit, this is something that you want to take a little bit of time with, fold and manipulate all of these bits going forward, so we can then come along, and all that you're doing is you are following those score lines. So you can follow it, so have a look, see where the lines are. So we can fold this one in, and then we're coming along the bottom. So there's a score line along the bottom here. What we then also need to do is, if I fold it as far as I can, bringing in your scoreboard, where we done that pencil line, we're going to bring it back and we're going to score up to the edge. So we're coming at the start of the pencil line to the edge of the die cut, and same at this side here. If we started with a score line, we would have one running all the way across, which we don't want. So at this point, this is then also going to fold in half like so. Then at this point, what we're doing is we're manipulating the rest, and then you get to a point where you start to see it coming to fruition. So let's just pop them bits out.
Little question about your craft along, Craig. Victoria says, if she doesn't have A3, could she join 2 pieces of A4 for that demo a bit later? Or does she really need A3?
You can do. You'll just need to make sure that the tape that you're using on the back to join them is really strong.
Okay.
But yeah, you can do it. It is an option if you don't have A3.
All right, I hope that helps, Victoria.
So here we go. Let's take these last bits here. You can see already how it's starting to come together. Fold and burnish these bits here. All that I'm doing. If I then fold it over, matching up edge to edge, we can go back now and carefully pop them. So now what I can do is I can come in here. We can then bring in our low tack tape, our tape runner. I'm then going to put my adhesive on into place here. Let's pop this one. So you don't want to pop any adhesive onto the wording, otherwise what will happen is it will then, it won't pop up. Now what I'm doing, literally for speed, Joe, I know this is a no-no, but...
Craig,
I know.
Are you committing the cardinal sin of crafting?
I know, look at that, so bad, isn't it? So then what I can do is I can then, if I pop that back, folded on itself, I'm going to line this one up to the edge there and there. I'm going to stick it down. Same at this bit. Pop it up. Here we go. If I pop this one in, I'm going to fold, burnish lightly, and bring it in. So you'll have your nicely decorated card, whichever way you want to decorate it. And then as soon as you go to open it, you're going to get that pop out thank you element here. So how well does that look? And it does fold relatively flat. You might want to do a slight box envelope, but you can do deeper boxes if you want, but it's a nice, fun and funky way of creating your pop-up.
Yeah, it certainly is. And remember, you're getting all three of these in here, which is awesome. So you're going to get with love, thank you, and special friend. So three awesome, versatile sentiments in there. One of these, as I said, should cost you $9.99 or $12.95. So you to buy one, get two free situation, which is absolutely awesome. Another April Fool coming, Craig. Laquieta says, April Fool jokes. Her family played on her. She said, I played the lottery, but I didn't check the tickets. Well, my 8 children woke me up saying, you've won. As I started to call to claim, they yell April Fools. Oh, that's a harsh one, isn't it, Craig?
That is a bit harsh.
It is a bit on the harsh
really
side.
Harsh.
Absolutely, it is. Lots of you sending lots of different ones into me. Anne says that the stand should be called Stand the Stand. Does what it says on the tin, really, doesn't it? Stand the stand. Let's see. Yeah, and lots of questions still talking about our craft along. Tansy Pan says, I'm not going to watch if Joe doesn't craft along as well. Oh, blackmail, she says at the end there. We will see. I have a little chat with Craig between shows, see if it is within my capabilities. So to speak, but loads still coming up. Remember, lots coming up. That craft along coming up, but also we've then got cartload. Don't forget as well. A little bit later, some really gorgeous, awesome, juicy deals in there. I'm seeing lots of colour, Craig, and I am liking it.
Lots and lots of colour here. So what I'd already done beforehand, and we've got lots of different techniques on past Crafters TV shows. I've taken some of my glitter pens, and I have taken Moonlight and also Harvest Moon, and with this one here I've created a nice different background, so we've gone all bright for this one here. So what we can do is let's set that one to the side for the time being. I'm going to bring in a piece of our white smooth cardstock, and I'm going to bring in one of our Quirky stamps. So I've gone for what if the hokey pokey is really what it's all about. How fun is that one? And that's what I love about these ones. These are all really fun, something a bit different, and as the name says, quirky. You do want something a bit quirky, don't you?
I love that they're a bit sassy as well, Craig.
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah. Shall I read a few out to you?
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that would be good. So some really good ones.
Yeah, I love the one. Chocolate doesn't ask silly question. Chocolate understands, which is that one I like. What's the other one that is really quite sassy? How do I like my eggs? In a cake. Duh. I only have one glass of gin and tonic for health benefits. The rest is for witty remarks and amazing dance moves. Love that one.
Good one.
The best antiques are old friends. And the other one I like is, remember, as far as everyone knows, we are a nice, normal family. That reminds me of my family.
Reminds me of mine as well.
I'm going to be seeing my parents tomorrow, Craig, for the first time in
brilliant.
over a year. I know, because of everything that's been going on. We can all meet up safely outside now, so we're going to make it happen. It's very, very exciting.
It is really exciting, and it's so good to hear and see people, you know, on social media that posting pictures where they're able to meet up for, you know, in the park or in the garden and have a coffee or cuppa or anything like that. At last, isn't it? So good to actually see.
Yeah, it feels like everything's moving in the right direction, Craig, doesn't it? Which
It
is
does.
lovely.
That's exactly what we want. We're going into the summertime, you know, we're in springtime, going into summer, lots of things going in the right direction. So,
Is it? What's your favourite season, Craig?
it's between summer and autumn.
Summer and autumn, okay.
So I'm one of those that by the time we get into the end of autumn, I'm like fed up and I'm ready for summer.
Right.
But then by the time that the end of summer comes, I'm fed up of summer.
Ready
and I'm
for
ready
autumn.
for the dark and warm, cosy nights. Obviously, warm being stuck in home. So yeah, I'm one of those. But yeah, either one of them I both like. Both like them. What about you?
Summer for me,
Summer,
all year round. It could
straight
be
away.
July or August, all year round for me. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm sorry, when the hot weather comes, once we get to a bit about July, I already start to get a bit sad, Craig, that summer's we've only got another month of summer left. But yeah, I love the summer. I think I just love the light evenings and the warm weather.
Yeah.
Bliss.
Nice, isn't it? Can't wait for that one. Although they're starting to come already. Now, what I've done here is I've stamped out whatever the Quirky really is, what it's all about. I've stamped that in Noir Black. And then what I've done now is I've brought in my Ice Grey 2. This is our classic, or you could be using your tri-blends or any other form of a light grey. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw all the way around. And all that I'm doing is I'm following all the way around. And this is something that I do with all of my either stamped images or stamped sentiments. Anything stamped, I'll go around with my Ice Grey 2.
So our American friends call it the hokey pokey, don't they, Craig? We call it the hokey cokey.
Okay, Cokey.
I wonder why.
I don't
wonder
know.
why it's called a pokey instead of a cokey instead of a pokey. I'm not quite sure. I bet someone in the comments knows, because our viewers, they are literally is it a font or a fount of knowledge? That's another good one.
Is it a fount
Is it a
of
fount
knowledge?
or a font of knowledge?
Or an encyclopedia?
Yeah, they're very, very knowledgeable. They have all the facts. I thought I was good with the random facts, Craig, but our viewers knock it out of the park compared to me. So let us know.
Do let us know.
If you know why it's called a pokey instead of a cokey, then let me know in the comments.
Well, put it this way, I would always go to all of you at home first before I would go to Wikipedia, so...
Oh, absolutely. Wikipedia. Never Wikipedia yourself, Craig.
No, never.
Oh, it's not good.
No. You'd learn a lot of things about yourself.
I've never
wouldn't you?
Wikipedia'd myself.
I've never.
No,
Have you ever
me
Googled
neither.
yourself?
No.
No, I've not either. No. People say, you know, it can be funny if you actually Google your name and what can come up.
I feel like that's maybe opening a Pandora's box, Craig, which is best closed.
Yeah. We better keep that one.
Watch now as everyone starts to Google us
Google
at
the
home.
name, yeah.
Yeah. If you Google us, we don't want to know. That's all we're saying. Jean says, I'm with you, Joe. July 4th, I start getting upset that summer is coming to an end. I know, me too. I really, really do. When is summer for you, Craig? Because a lot of people say midsummer is the start of June, don't they? But in my head, summer just begins in June.
Yeah,
For me, summer's June, July and August.
Yeah, well, I usually think of, if it come the end of May, I would start to say it's summertime.
Yes, I agree. Eurovision is the start of summer.
Is it?
Yeah, 22nd of May.
Ah.
In my head, anyway, you know.
And you see it like at the moment, at this point now, I know obviously our clocks and that have gone forward, but I'm still at that, is it spring state? Is it springtime? Isn't it? And you say you're like that with the Eurovision. I'm like that with WrestleMania.
Right.
As soon as WrestleMania's here, I know that it's springtime.
You know it's springtime.
Yeah. Which just happens to be next
Fair
weekend.
enough. I think it's why we were all so discombobulated last year, Craig, because so many things didn't happen. Our brains didn't have any, flags through the year to let us know, any landmark events to let us know what part of the year it was. So when it got to July and it was baking hot, I thought it was like April, May time. But yeah, we were very discombobulated. I feel like I've kept abreast of it a bit better this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll just be nice to be able to see things. For instance, WrestleMania is going to be the first event in over a year that's got fans in attendance. So it'll just be these little things as well start to bring back normality. You know, seeing shows or that with a bit of normality. But what we've done here is we've drawn round with the ice grain. See how it just makes it stand out that little bit more. So even if I've coloured in an image, I'll still go over the top. So what we can do is let's bring in a few of these components here. So I've got my double-sided tape on the back already good to go. So if we take all of these bits out, so I'm going to take the backing off. So my next layer, I'm going to highlight it with a piece of white, and I can pop that one over the top so that we get a very, very slight layer. What I can then do, I'm going to then go onto a piece of black cardstock. Now this is then going to match on with our layers.
I love that background, Craig. So was that just glitter pens? Was there any techniques involved there, did you say?
It was the salt technique.
Love that.
Yep, salt technique with that one there. So I popped my sparkle ink onto my glass mat, dabbed my cardstock over the top, and then I sprinkled some of the rock salt over the top, and then spritzed it with a water tool and left it to dry.
Beautiful. It is fount, as in the fountain of knowledge.
Fountain of knowledge.
A fount of all knowledge, yes.
Got ya. Yeah, it was the same as you. I know fountain or fount. Was never 100% sure.
Georgina's saying she just found it out today that was the word. I like what you did there, Georgina. All the word puns coming through. Lots that you can do with these stamps, Craig, I'm thinking, because of the size of them. I know like you've made a slightly smaller style card there than what you normally would, and then matted and laid it up with a background. It looks beautiful, but also good for little box frames, do you think? Things like tags, or even maybe using a couple of them on one project.
Absolutely. You can get as creative as you want with these ones here. Keep them small, as I've done on this one, but because as it's a stamp, you can stamp onto any size that you wish. So whether it's going to be the focal point, it might actually be even the insert of your card if you want to as well. Could be on the box if you want. You could start to incorporate them with many of your different crafting. Maybe you even want to put them on a scrapbook page if you've got, you know, a family member or someone that you think it's going to work well to. But there we go, just using that sentiment. One of the butterflies is also from the Gemini Mini element die sets. We're actually going to show very, very shortly. But that's your Crafter's Companion acrylic stamp bundle. So you're getting 22 elements in total. These are what's coming up also in cartload as well. £21 here in the UK, $25 for you guys stateside. Straight away, look at your saving here in the UK, $33.78. You guys, you've also got a great saving stateside, $39.90. But if you're across in Europe, do not worry, just go to .eu, all your prices in euros will be there, and for all of you, UK, Europe or US of A, you're in Club Inspire. I know you're all in Club Inspire. Once you go into the checkout, you'll find your discount there as well. Hey Joe.
Absolutely you will, Craig. We love Club Inspire because it gets you all discounts, and all you've got some sort of status in the club, so you're all getting some sort of discount on that price, which is absolutely awesome. Have a guess what, Craig?
What's that?
We've had some pictures in.
Up there?
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
And we're going to share them with you. Linda Warren has sent this picture in just here, Craig. Look at that.
Oh
Very.
My gosh.
The name's Craft, James Craft, isn't it?
That, isn't it? It's very, very I love that idea, and I love that idea with the cards.
Beautiful.
And the dice.
Really gorgeous. And also, Wendy sent this one in. Some lilies, my favourite flower, aren't these gorgeous?
Your favourite, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. Really nice. Yeah. How realistic do they look?
They do look absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for sending those in to me. Right, I want to share with you what we've got coming up next. We're looking at the pop-out spirals. I can't believe we've got these on a Craft Vault pricing for you, because they were a fairly recent launch. $51.96 is what they should be. 33 and change today is what you're looking at as part of the Craft Vault, down from almost $60 to less than $40 if you are stateside. You are going to receive the heart, the honeycomb, you're going to receive the spiral balloon, and you're going to get the flower too. And what they're all about really is making the inside of your card, again, as exciting as the outside of your card. So yes, you can decorate the outside up beautifully, but then inside you've got this wonderful spiral pop-out detailing within there. I think, Craig, these are something that for a very sort of, for very little effort with this, you can really elevate your card to the next level, can't you? Because I've seen these used many times now. Pretty quick to use, pretty quick to get in your card, but create something totally different for you.
They really do, and they're all about pulling your eye onto the inside of the card as well as obviously the decoration on the outside of your card. So what we can do is I'm going to bring in a piece of cardstock. So I've got our Centura Pearl here. So what I can then do is bring in the die. Now you've got the main mechanism die, but what you've got as well is you've got a few additional elements as well to use as decoration, and in you've also got a sentiment. But in this one here that I'm using, the pop-out flowers, you've got thank you. So we can then bring our plates into place here, and these all go through not only the Junior and the Daddy Gemini as well as the Pro, they will go through the MIDI as well. Run it through. And now what it's doing now is, and not the die cut, and I mean the actual die, once you pop it in the middle of your card, it's giving it that movement within the middle. So instead of having a flat centered card with maybe a sentiment in the middle, what you've got is the ability to then have that additional movement when it comes to the spring action. So what we've got, do you know what I've just noticed as well, Joe? We've got a lot of movement products on the show today, or even throughout the day.
And inside card projects
yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. So whether it's the pop-out elements, whether it's the spiral inserts, you know, very, what was it you said, Georgina? Kinetic. Was it Kinetic you said? Yes, Kinetic cards. Absolutely. A lot of movement within these ones. So at this point, what I'm then going to do is we're left with our two die cut pieces here. So you're going to bring in both of them here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to then go over to the end of this one, and I'm going to come to the beginning of the other one. So I'm going to pop some adhesive onto this part here. So if we pop our adhesive on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to layer that one over the top, and I'm going to press. And then what happens, if I hold into this center bit, and then get a hold of this back bit here, what you'll be able to see is you get that spiral part that bounces back and forth. So what I've done is I've got a blank card blank. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of tacky glue for this, because all that I'm wanting is a tiny little bit of glue within that center part. So I'm going to pop that one in and then press. What I'm then going to do is also do the same into that middle bit, and then I'm going to press, and I'm going to let that grab just for a moment or two, and then what we can then start to do is have that movement within the middle. So whether it's a 5x5 card, 6x6, it could be 8x8, you maybe want to incorporate it with the center, you maybe want to bring it on the front, then you can do different ways. So what we can do is let's get that to stick. So let's bring this one in. So I'm going to move it up. We're going to bring it back into place this way. Holding that just for a second for it to grab. I know that what I've done, there we go. It's just because my glue spread into the other layers. So here we go. So if we open that up, boom, we've got our spiral element that you can see on this one here. So this is where you've got the movement. Make more of a focal if you want to actually pop different, you know, maybe circle mats and layers behind each part. Up to yourself if you want, but there is how at least the concept of these ones work.
Love that, Craig, looking absolutely awesome, and I think they very quickly make something rather fabulous. A lot of you I know own these and have been using them to great effect. If you are a platinum member here, £27 and change, just over $31 there is your price on those. I want to talk to you about something else. Again, awesome that we've managed to get this in the craft vault for you. It is the Gemini Mini. It is mini, but my oh my, it is mighty. It has that Gemini branding on there, and that means it's going to be able to cut all the things you'd be able to cut with our it's going to give you the same pressure as you'd get with our larger Gemini machines, but in that small size. And also because the platform is smaller, it's a folder, it means you can whiz things through here at an absolute rate of knots. So you get the machine itself, you get the plastic purple shim, you get getting 3 of the plastic folders in there. Now, $29.99 or $39.95 is what you should be paying just for the machine on its own. Today, we're going to give you the bag included free of charge, which is absolutely awesome, because the bag on its own, it should be, I think I seem to have lost the Gemini Mini on my notes, Craig. The bag on its own should be £12.99 or £16.95. However, today you're getting it for that awesome price. $29.99 and $44.95. That is what the machine should be costing on its own. You get the whole thing. Anyone that's not used that Mini before, Craig, what would you say about it? Because I mean, I've did that thing where you fall foul of thinking that, you know, it's just a small die cutting machine. Do you really need one? But it is epic, isn't it?
It is, and I done exactly the same, although that I work here. When I heard that we were getting this one, I thought, well, am I really going to use it? You know, how much am I going to use it? And you really will be surprised how much you use it. You'll be surprised at how many dies that you use on a daily basis are actually going to fit within the actual folder platform. Also to say as well, because Joe had said that it's got the same pressure, you know, it's got the same pressure as the Pro, but on a smaller format. But even when it comes to the suction of the bottom, so it's nice and sturdy, and you're just going to rock it to release it. What we're then going to do is I'm going to bring in my folder. So it is folder based. You will also get within your pack, you will get a plastic shim, a purple plastic shim. So you need this one for any of your 2D embossing folders that you get to work within the Mini. What you also get is 3D embossing folders. 3D embossing folders, you don't need anything. Pop your cardstock in the folder and run it through. That is all that you need. But what we can do is we're going to bring in our garden friends. So this is what originally had come out with the Gemini. So what I'm going to do within this one here is I'm going to use the dragonfly here. And this one here is the ladybug or ladybird, and that's what I used within the demo earlier on. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to bring in some cardstock. So I've got some gold satin card, and I'm simply going to run that one through. So I've popped it into my folder, and I'm just stabilising the top, and I'm going to run it through. And in the same way that you would use any of your other Gemini plates, what you want to do is make sure that you flip the sides over. So that was how I used it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, turn it over, and use the other side. And we're going to do that again in another bit of cardstock. And by ensuring that each time that you turn your folder over, that just means that you're going to keep it straight for longer. If you always use the same platform side, what will happen is your folder will start to bow quite dramatically. So it's really key that you absolutely flip the folder each time. But what I'm then going to do is we're going to do one more, and then within this one here, what we've got within the dragonflies, we've got the body, the outline body, and then, or the wing, sorry. The wing, outline of the wing, and then the body within the centre. So my gold glitter card, I only want the body, so I'm going to turn my folder over. We're going to run that one through, and then what I can do is I can bring in my tacky glue from that decorative tool set, and I'm going to pop my pokey tool in as well. So I've got my wings there. I have then got my, where's my body? So I want the body within gold satin here, and then I want the outline of the wings in this ivory one that I've got. So I'll set that ones to the side just now because I don't need them. So then what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to bring in the outline of the wing, and what I'm doing is I'm going to pop a little bit of the tacky glue in the centre of the body, and I'm only popping it into the centre because I want to have the wings so that they're still going to be free flowing at the side. So what I can do is I can just hold that for a few seconds or so, let that glue grab, trying to say. So as I hold that one here, we've got Ray saying, how wide is the mouth of the Mini? So it is, so folder wise anyway, so you are looking at 3 1/4 inches for the actual mouth width wise of the folder. Gemini mouth. So anything that small. If you have extra long embossing folders or extra long dies, you can still use them. You would just need to die cut one side and then turn it over and die cut the other side. So it's easily done. But what we can then do is I've popped a tiny bit of glue on the back of the body, and we're going to press this one here. So let's hold that into place. Karen on Facebook is saying, I have 2 minis and 1 midi and I love them. I also have the large Gemini, but use the mini and midi more often. Yeah, I hear that a lot from many at home.
I think you'd be surprised how many dies that you have and use, Craig, go through the mini and the midi.
Absolutely.
It's a very, very high proportion, isn't it?
It really, really is. And even at the moment, if you don't have one, you're thinking, right, how many of my dies are going to go through? You're maybe thinking, maybe not quite a lot. It's not until you actually get the mini home and start crafting, start playing, and you go to use a die and you think, oh, actually that one will go through the mini. Oh, that one will go through the mini. So, you know, it is worthwhile having within your stash at home. And yeah, you'll find that it's going to be the workhorse that's at the side. Because mine is, Joe, I've got my Gemini Junior that always sits to my right-hand
You
side.
swap that back in at all points, don't you? Because you did the pop-up box, I know, in the larger one, but as soon as you could, you got your Junior back in.
I did, yeah. I went back to my Junior. And I could have done all my die cutting on my large Gemini, but just space-wise, footprint-wise, I always like to have my Gemini Junior at the side of me. But yeah, I've got my Gemini Junior at the right-hand side of me at home, and then on the left-hand side, I've got my midi as well as my mini. But if we bring this one back in, so what I've got is gold satin card, 5.5 inches by 3.25. I popped a panel of, it's kind of like a decorative vellum that I've got. I'm going to layer these ones up. And what I've also done is I've taken a panel from one of our Centura Pearl cardstocks, and I've taken one of our relatively new shaped inside nesting dies. So we can then pop the pads off of this one. I'm going to give you another tease from later on in
You
Cartload.
are such a tease.
Such a tease. So along the same lines as the Celebrate that I showed you earlier on in this show, what I've done is I've taken a love die, and you also get stamps to coordinate with the die. So what we can do is we can then take these backing bits off. Let's get these last few. So if I peel these ones, we're going to then pop this one into the middle here. So let's press that one. I've already done another 2 dragonflies. What we can then do here is let's pop our tacky glue onto the back. This is going to sit nicely into the middle, and I'm going to tuck this one in. And then what we can do is let's come along and we can then scatter our dragonflies throughout. And also I'm only popping a bit of glue into the center of the body so that we can lift the wings up. So let's go that way. And then last but not least, we can go, let's go that way. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to hold down the body with my pokey tool, and then I'm going to lift up the wings. So let's lift it up. That one, let's do this one. If you want to add some gems or petals, you've got that option. Let's bring that one up, and then last but not least, oh, I think my first dragonfly's come off. Let's pop a bit of glue.
Dragonflies, you know, signal new beginnings, Craig. Signify
Do
new
they?
beginnings, I should say, yeah.
Didn't know that. Did not know that. And then there we go, a nice little card.
Maybe it's new. Maybe it's a new relationship you're in. You could send a dragonfly love card.
Maybe. You could do. It's an option. An option. But you could be doing lots of different colours there, really nice muted colour combination there. But that's just one thing that you can be doing with, that's using the mini, but what we've also done is we used the dragonflies that come with the set as well. But the Gemini Mini Element Die Collection, 28 elements in total. That one is coming up in Cartload later on today. £28 here in the UK, $43 for you guys stateside. Already saving 25%. You will also get your Club Inspire on top. If you've not got your Gemini Mini, I would absolutely urge you to at least give it a shot. And You will be amazed. If you think you're not going to need it or use it, I think you'll be amazed actually how much you actually do use it. Isn't that right, Joe?
Absolutely. A lot of people saying that in the comments as well. Mary is saying how much she loves being a platinum member, Craig. I bet you do. Mandy has got CC deliveries on the way. Also, Will saying, I love dragonflies. My favourite insect. I have actually seen a sneaky peek on a collection that includes some dragonflies. I might have had a sneak at some images from Leanne a little last night. So you want to keep your eyes peeled for that, Will, in that case. Ayesha loving the brown and ivory collection, colour combination there. And the lovely Mary in Ireland says, Mini is a cracking machine. I love it. I also love my Big Daddy Gemini as well. There's a place for all of the Gemini machines in the range. There really is. What I'd also like to do with you, for you, again, is just share with you one more time the list of things that you're going to need for that awesome craft along that's coming up with Craig and myself in about an hour and 45 minutes time. So here is everything you are going to need. You've got the Gemini, you're going to need a Gemini machine, your Ultimate Pro or a scoreboard, some of the decorative border dies of course, some A3 Century Pearl, textured cardstock, a few ink pads as well, also some pattern papers which Craig's using the Everyday Celebration, acetate, tacky glue, you're going to need a tape pen, you're also going to need some low tack tape and a pencil. I reckon that's stuff that a lot of you definitely have to hand. So gather those up in the break between shows in the 90 minutes that you have and make sure you join us for that incredible craft along. We're going to craft along together in real time and hopefully we'll get to share some of the pictures at the end of it too. We've got some flower forming items on the show for you and it includes the vintage lace Petite Posy, which was so popular. Vintage lace was such an incredibly popular collection. You've also got floral bouquet flower forming foam in here. Love this one because what it actually gives you is quite a vast array of different colours in here, and you've got your stamens in there too, and it's going to allow you to create awesome floral elements such as this. I feel like with the flower forming foam it just seems to get more and more and more popular. I can't believe as well that you can get this for less than the cost of the die to get all three of those elements within there. It's a great price, $9.98 or $15.90, which is brilliant value for money. Would you agree, Craig? I mean, flower foam has always been fairly popular, but it just seems like with the recent launches, I know the autumn launch we did and then the spring launch as well, it just seems to be sort of off the chart. Everyone is absolutely loving it at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. I think as well because home decor and home decor crafts is really, really big just now. It has been for a while, but it continues to get big. And because you can absolutely make your own at home, and they're really robust. Once you've actually heated them, created them, formed them, they are so tough and robust. So what you can do with these ones is let's bring in our die sets here. We can then bring in our die. Now within the die set you do get your 4 of them, 4 different sizes, and they'll all go through the mini as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them over a few times because these are going to cut multitude of layers. So I want to make sure that I've got more than enough. So I'm going to fold it over a number of times. So let's bring this one in here. Let's bring in my scissors. So if I pop that one onto our folder, and then I'm going to use my mini, we're going to go through. Now with the pressure of this, what will happen is it will contain some of the foam, so you will need to just prise it apart slightly. What we can do then is if we move that one out the way, let's bring in another few. So let's fold that one over again. You at home, you won't be rushing all this cutting, so you will be more precious with the foam. But I want to get some of these ran through. When you get the foam, you get the dies, you also get the stamens too. So what we can do now is let's move these bits out of the way that I'm finished. We can set all them to the side, and I'm going to bring these ones back, including the flower. So we need to prise it apart. So we've got 3 here, and then we've got another 3 here. I've brought in my craft iron. You could be using your home iron or a travel iron, but I've also got my ball tools here. So what I'm going to do beforehand, let's also bring in some stamens. So I'm going to then pop 1, 2, 3, 4. I tend to go for round about 4, because then what we're going to do is we're then going to fold them in half, so we'll end up with 8 of them. So let's bring them together. So if I pull all of these in, let's bring in, I've got some very, very thin jewellery wire, and I'm going to wrap it round, and then we're going to start to wrap. I'm going to fold it on itself. So this is where we're doubling our stamens, and then we're going to twist. We're going to twist it a good number of times. This is going to create a point for us to feed through our flowers just shortly. So keep going, and then sometimes what I'll also do as well is I'll hold the wire and twist the stamens. Seems to be quicker in forming the point. And then I'm just going to snip the end off here. So now what we can do is we can bring in our craft iron or travel iron, and then I'm going to bring in my foam and my block. So I've got all these good to go. What I'm also going to do is bring in tweezers. Let's bring mine in. If you're using your home iron, then have it on high. So I'm lifting that one up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ball tool. We're going to manipulate it. Then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go back, and using the largest end, I'm going to use my thumbs, and I'm going to gently pull them away. So although there's still a little bit of heat within the foam, what you're doing is the heat within your thumbs is also activating the foam, because it is heat activated foam. So I can then turn it all the way around, and then we're going to position them onto the end of the ball tool. And the larger the ball tool end that you use, the more open the petals will be. So we can keep going. So there's at least one of them. Then let's bring in another one here. So I'm going to pop this one into place here. I'm going to pop it on, and then I'm going to turn it over. Now I'm literally popping it on and taking it straight off. You can leave it on longer, and then what will happen is it will really curve up a lot more. You'll see that one onto my mat that has come off. If that happens, don't worry about it, because what you can do later on is once you've started to form your flower, using your hot glue, just attach it to the back. Flowers are in, they're not perfect in nature, so don't ever worry about that. Same with, if you go to start to shape them like this, if you pull it too hard and get a crack, don't worry, because nature's not perfect. Let's go in, and then let's do another one. Let's leave that one on a bit longer, and then we can come in again. You don't need to shape them the way I am here, but it just adds that little bit more difference to the shape of them. And I'm going to twist them round. We're going to keep going. You do as well, if you have a look on the website, you get little distressing tools and that you can use with your flowers if you want to. You can twist the petals, you can add ink to them if you want to. Lots of different ways you can use them. But let's do this last one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that out the way just now, and I'm also going to unplug it so I don't put my elbow or arm in it. If I then bring in my pokey tool, so what we can do is we can go into two of these, and I'm going to go into the center of one of them. I'm going to go into the center of another one, and I'm offsetting it slightly from the petal underneath, and I'm pressing through, and I'm still going to do this one here. So going into the center and pressing. So we start to create kind of like a bunch of a petal, and then I'm going to hold with my thumb, and then I'm going to feed those stamens through that hole that I've just created. So let's bring it through.
We must wish Diane Cup a happy birthday, Craig. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. So what we're doing, so I've taken those petals off here. So I'm going to go back in again and feed it through. Now you don't need to use these flowers as well. What you can do, any normal flower dies you've got at home, you can absolutely use. So, and same with these ones, is you can use these with your paper crafting. Now my petal is torn away, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to wait for a second before I put my fingers on it and manipulate it with the heat. but once it's cooled down slightly, I'm going to pull in the petals, and then I'm going to bunch them together because I don't want to waste them. No waste. So let's hold it together, hold it, and then I'm going to pull all of these in. Let's take that one out there. Let's do that one. And then what we can do is let's go back in with our hot glue. I'm going to bring in the hot glue, and then under each petal here, we're going to attach these ones back into place. And then you're going to work your way around. What you could even do at this point, using the same flowers, but either cut them in green or colour them in green, and do it this way, and your petals then become your foliage. But we can then tuck them ones in. What I would say within this die is do take extra care, because I will show you the actual centre of the die. I'm going to take away those strands here. If I bring this die back in, you can see that you've not got much room at all when it comes to the stamens. Let's bring in, this one will be better to show you. See how you've got the finest of finest point within the centre. So do just be careful when it comes to this die. But as I say, what you could do is you could start to incorporate other flower dies that you've got at home. Whether it's flower forming or whether it's your paper craft, you can use them. But then just start to rebuild it if it happens. And then what you can do is start to create that little bit of a bunch. You can still open them up even more if you want to. But then you can start to play and manipulate them when it comes to the flowers. So that is your vintage flower forming collection.
How awesome. Looks absolutely
Smart,
beautiful,
isn't it?
Craig, doesn't it? Yeah, really, really gorgeous. And remember, the deal on that is amazing because $9.98 in the UK, $15.90 in the UK. You should be paying $9.99 just for the die on its own, which is brilliant. So you're getting the foam and the stamens totally free of charge in the UK, which is absolutely brilliant. L'Acquieta saying Craig is so good at these flower forming demonstrations. Pamela always fascinated by your demonstrations, and Hadassah saying what a great deal you've got there. Crafty versus oops, bought the flower forming set too. Another bargain indeed, which is awesome. You guys have still been sending in pictures, which we absolutely love. We've got some more that we can share with you. The lovely Emma has sent in this picture just here, which is one of our awesome pop-out sentiments that you've got just here, which has also decorated the outside of this one as well. Craig, that looks great, doesn't it?
That looks so nice. That looks like a box. A nice elegance box, doesn't it?
Really does. Dorothy McCarthy sent a Christmas-themed pop-out box into us as well. I'm loving that, Craig.
It's really nice as well. It goes to show all the different things and different ways that you can use it.
Absolutely. And Stephanie Theodos sent this one into us, Craig.
Look at that. I love how bright and bold the colours are within that one there. Very, very, I love it. It's a real striking of fuchsia within that one there, isn't it? Is that Winnie the Pooh in the centre? Oh, it is. Winnie the Pooh. There we go. How fun were they? Really good. Always love to see when it comes to any of the creations that you are making, whether it's a product on the show or just any of your crafty products in general. So that is, I can't believe that's nearly the time already, but we are not going far. We're going to be back very, very shortly, and we're going to be back with a craft along. So if you do want to join in, then you'll have seen Joe go over what you're going to need earlier on in this show. If you need a recap, then do go across onto my Facebook, Crafters Companion Facebook. You've got that list that you're able to follow, or of course in between now and craft along you can always rewind this show and watch it back. We can then get creative, but I don't want you to worry if you've not got the products. You can then get the opportunity to purchase some today. Maybe you've already bought them, and then you can craft along again at your heart's content once they arrive. Just won't be live, but at least you can still craft along. But for the remaining of the day, as I say, that is going to be our craft along. So that's going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And then what we've also got, myself and Joe are going to be back again for Cartload. So that's going to be 7 p.m. here in the UK. For you guys stateside, 2 2 a.m, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and it'll be good to have your company, and that will be us closing the show for the day. But then I'll be back with Ben tomorrow morning on Wake Up Call, 12 p.m. here in the UK, same time, 7 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be great to have your company. Thank you so much, Joe. Enjoy your few days off.
Oh, I will, but not after we do those two fabulous shows later.
Absolutely.
Of course. Thanks for letting me gate crash your wake up call, Craig, all this week.
Always, it's never a gate crash. It's always great to have your company as well. Great to have your company. We'll see you in about an hour and a half from now for Craft Along. But in the meantime, have a look at this to see what's coming up.
Oh, hello there. What a great day we've got coming up for you today on Crafters TV. There's a craft along coming later with these amazing decorative border dies with myself and Craig. Make sure you go over to social media and check out all the things you're going to need so we can all craft together. It's going to be loads of fun. Then a little bit later, it's fast, it's furious. It is, of course, our cartload show. We've got balloon sentiments. There's going to be the awesome stained glass windows on there as well. There might even be some craft kits coming up too. Now, don't tell anyone. I think the deals might be live already. Go over and take a look, and I'll see you a little bit later today.